Hi everyone, it's Sarah or LavilyDay here with another video. It's finally time for Millie to get her face repainted. I wiped her way back when I did her tattoos and she's been somewhat neglected since, so let's change that. I asked both on Instagram and on my community tab what picture I should use as inspiration. It was honestly really close. After combining the results, there were only 5 votes between the top 2, that being options 2 and 4. It was so close, I decided to do a combination of the 2. A lot of people seem to like the eyebrows from 2 and the makeup from 4, so that's what I aimed for. For the initial blushing, I like to mix a variety of colours. I feel like this makes it look more realistic and has more depth than if I just used a single red or whatever. Last time I painted or drew or painted, is it still considered painting if I don't use paint? I mean, I'm using brushes. I'm not sure. But anyway, last time I did her face, I really liked using more of an orange blush on her, so I'm doing that again. Next, I make a start on her smoky eye. The colour builds so slowly, looking back at the footage it's almost hard to see if anything is actually happening, but trust me, it's there. For the lips, I decide to bring out my brush and mix small amounts of water with the pastel dust. Not only does this build pigment infinitely quicker, it also gives me a lot more control. It worked so well, I decided to use the same technique on her eyes. To make the most of this layer, I give the lips another pass and then eventually the eyes as well. Next, I add some faint skin details with my pencils. Think blood vessels and freckles. Well, something like that hopefully. I buff them in using a cotton bud so that they appear to be under her skin. While I've got my pencils, I give her some eyelashes too. This might go without saying, but I only draw the bottom lashes since she'll end up having actual fake ones on the top. I pretty much just put them on the outer edge. Something new I tried this time around was picking up my paintbrush and with a teeny bit of water going over some of my lines. This activated the watercolour pencils and I really liked the effect. A side effect of using pencils is that your lines generally end up looking grainy and, well, drawn on when you look closely. Going over them with my brush mitigated this, which I was really happy about. Finally, it was time to do her eyeliner. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda screwed this up. The first time I drew them, they were not even. I couldn't exactly take them off to start over either without removing a lot of other work at the same time, so I had to make both wings a lot larger than I had originally intended, just so that they would match. This is honestly exactly what happens when I do my own makeup, so I really shouldn't have been that surprised. They still turned out okay, but part of me wishes they were smaller. Oh well. In the picture I was referencing, the inner corner of the eyes had a lot of white going on, so I added that to Millie with my white pencil. I also used my white pencil to highlight different areas, such as the top of her lips and in and around her eyelashes. Now let's give her some eyebrows. This time around I used a cotton bud to map them out, and I found it really good to work with. I started from the insides and worked my way out. I have a tendency to place eyebrows higher than they need to be, so I had to make a conscious effort to place them below where I thought they should go. Once I was happy with the placement, I drew the individual hairs with a pencil. Even though I was going for a dark look, I used a bit of brown in there too so that it would better match Millie's hair. Just like with the eyelashes, I painted over them with some water, going back and forth between that and the pencils until I was happy. I decided to further extend the corners of her lips to give her some more expression. The last thing I did as far as the actual face up goes was to add some highlights. Oh, and I gave her a teeny bit of pink blush because she looked like she needed it. I highlighted her chin and jawline with white pastel in an attempt to minimise these parts of her face, which sounds weird, but it makes sense in my head. Then I went over some final lines and declared her finished. Time for gloss. I just use Gloss Mod Podge for this, it's easy and cheap. I put some on the inner corner of her eyes and her lower waterline. I had to make sure that Millie kept her septum piercing from last time. The jewellery I use is just a ring from a keychain that I cut down to size. I sanded the ends and put a teeny bit of thicker fabric glue on them to make sure they wouldn't scratch the resin somehow. Then I glued it in place with Mod Podge. I glossed her lips and then it was eyelash application time. Now, normally this is my most dreaded step, but somehow it went well this time. I don't know how I managed it, but I'm not complaining. I wanted to give her some spider earrings, so I destroyed a couple of pairs I still had from my teens and glued one of them onto her ears. And with that, she's done. You have no idea how great it feels to have Millie back. The eyes I put in her are different from what she had before, since Ray stole those, but I actually think I like these ones better for her. That's not to say they won't change someday, but they're great for now. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think of Millie's new look. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love it if you joined me here. I upload a new video every weekend on Sundays. Thank you so much for watching, it has been lovely, and I'll catch you in another video sometime soon.